What's up, family? Welcome to another episode of Spiritual Warfare. And today I'm going to be talking about how to tap into your higher self, aka the real you. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is one of the first things at becoming the real you is destroying your ego, destroying the lust for material things, and basically becoming one in tune with nature and the Most High in you. Basically, it's dealing with connecting the dots. It's a process. It's a never-ending process that never stops. Nobody is perfect. Nobody has all the answers. But in this world we in, it's a certain way you're supposed to conduct yourself. And that's why all of this is based on energy. When we hear about electricity, people that know about electricity, you need a what? A conduct. Conduct is very important. That's why it is very important that the powers of evil always have to make it where you conduct yourself in a bad fashion, because this destroys your vibration and your energy, because we live in a world of energy. It's always been like that. Some call it good versus evil. Some call it positive against negative. Either way, everything is based off energy. From the flows of the water to the wind blowing to fire burning, whatever the situation is, energy has always been here. Energy was here before man. And we have to understand these things. That when you are on this earth, and being that we are men and women, it's a certain way we have to conduct ourselves to be one with nature, because everything within nature functions correctly within itself, and it doesn't need a manual. The only people or living creatures that need a manual is man and woman. It's called the Bible, because it was said that man and woman would lose their way. And this was already written, and it already happened in the Garden of Eden. The point of the matter is, we have to look at things from a mental perspective, a common sense perspective, but mainly when you're dealing with your higher self, you have to look at everything on a spiritual level. Meaning, the great powers that exist, you have to understand that it's a certain way you have to be able to tap in. This is the same science and energy that the elite use. This is why we hear names like the Illuminati. It's not that they are so powerful. It's not about that they are these evil people that run together. The fact of the matter is, they are people that know. They know what you don't know. This is what makes them illuminated, because they have a certain amount of light. But when you know the ultimate light, then you will understand that these are people that just tapped in. See, the powers that be learn how to tap into the light. See, they know about the light. But the thing is, they can't live in the light. And that comes from within self. And it comes from tapping in at a high level. And when you're under an umbrella, when you're under a roof, organizations, following, you never can get to your higher self, because you always have something that is called an obligation. And your obligations tie you into everything else except for you. So check it out. It was a story told in the beginning of the book, which dealt with the Garden of Eden. And a lot of people don't understand. This is why it is important for you to know and understand your Bible. We have to understand that we're dealing with a book that is over 2,000 years old. We have the internet. Anything could be Googled. Anything could be looked at. This is why I'm trying to tell people that we are not in the time of secrets. We're not dealing with spookism. Everything is out on the forefront, because truth is truth. But only certain people could see the truth right now. So therefore, they're not worried about who's going to do what, because they understand that most of the people have already missed the ship. So my point is, back to the book. In the Garden of Eden, it spoke of trees. Spoke of more than one tree. This is what people don't remember or analyze, or should I say that the job of the preacher is to throw you off the path and keep you running in circles and to never break nothing down. But this is what I want my people to understand. You're not supposed to wait for somebody to break it down for you. You're not supposed to wait or rely on somebody to give it to you. The key is for you to get it yourself. Because if you don't get it yourself, you're never going to get it. All a person can do is bring you to the source, but I can't make you plug in. I can show you where to socket at, but I can't plug it in for you. You have to do it yourself. And the whole job of the preacher is to tell you that the plug or the socket you're looking at, don't use that one. It's one over there that's better in the back room. That's their job, to always throw you off. But my point is, it was a tree of life, and it was a tree of knowledge of good and evil. It was two trees. And we're going to take a look at these two trees, because these two trees represent energy, good and bad. Now, fast forward. We live in a time where everybody claims to be spiritual, because spirituality has become a fad. But what most people don't understand, every living creature has a spirit. Humans, animals, insects, every living creature, fish, every living creature has a spirit. So when people say they're spiritual, it really doesn't mean nothing. It's all about, what are you tapped into? And are you tapped into good spiritual energy, or are you tapped into bad spiritual energy? Because bad people are spiritual just like good people are spiritual. But my point is, being spiritual has become a fad. And this is how a lot of lost souls have become vessels for demonic spirits, because they know not what they worship. This is how you can open up yourself to good, or you can open up yourself to bad. So another thing I want to say, in the world of Babylon, they always play with names and change names. So yes, today it's called yoga. But I'm asking y'all a question. Remember when we first went to school, kindergarten, first grade, what's the first thing they told us to do? They told us to sit what? Indian style. Indian style is actually how the original Americans came together and prayed and dealt with positive energy. They sat Indian style. But then you'll see, when it comes to the book, it tells you that certain things are evil. And this is the number one thing you have to understand about the person that remixed the Bible. See, it wasn't just pictures remixed. A lot of things are still the same within the book. A lot of truth is there. But certain things had to be remixed to change the story. The same way you watch a movie and they always tell you the names of so-and-so events have been changed. That's what they did with the book. But you have to it's the same thing. Like, look, say if we watch, you know how we watch a movie based on a true story? When you know the true story, and you watch the movie, you already know the parts they tweak. You say, oh, they added that part. Or you say, what about the part that happened so-and-so? Because you know the true story. So when you're watching a movie, you already know all the fabrications within the movie, because you know the true story. You might have read the book, or you might have knew it personally. We get what I'm saying? It's the same thing with the Bible. When you know, it's people that know the truth, so they know the flaws in it. They know the lies. Meaning, when you know the truth, and you tapped in on a certain level, you can read the Bible and decipher what has been remixed, what has been tampered with, what is fugazi. You get it? It's a certain way, because it's all coded the same way in this world. Guess what? Listen to me, y'all. Y'all gonna feel me. Look, the same way in this world, where we not taught lies first, from school to holidays, we were taught lies first. Then, as we went on, we started learning the truth, and we started being able to decipher what was right from wrong, what was this. It's the same thing with life itself, and energy. And what I'm saying is this: A lot of our people got into things like this, yoga, following, and then they tied it into other things. Don't forget, this is something in America that became trendy by people like Kim Kardashian. My point is, a mockery has been made of spirituality, religion, whatever you want to call it. So this pose has become a fad. And I'm going to say this too. Evil and good is two different things. See, you can be doing this to pray for good, or you could be doing this to pray for bad. It's the same thing like a gun. Is a gun bad? What I mean is, a gun is a gun. The gun does not take life till the person picks up the gun. The same way a gun could be used for negative crimes, robbing, but a gun also could be used for hunting, getting your food, feeding your family. A gun also can be used to protect yourself and protect your family. Do you get it? It's about the energy behind the one lifting the gun. The same thing. It's the energy behind the person that's praying. And how that person prays and what they pray for and how they live their life is the justification on how the energy comes out. So evil people that do this, they do it for evil reasons. This is why I said a lot of people that are evil, they are spiritual. And their whole purpose of being spiritual is to manipulate you and the masses that do not know. The number one thing of the people who call themselves illuminated is to use their light by manipulating you into thinking that they are the truth because you are in a state of darkness and you do not have the light. This is how they trick people to worship them. But anyway, back to the ego. Ego is the number one thing that humans have. What does that mean? I have a name. I have many names. What I mean is, when I'm on the internet, my name is for no fame. Now, I can get big-headed. I can really start walking around thinking I'm for no fame and thinking I'm this dude that got a YouTube channel with subscribers and members, and I'm doing my thing out here in the streets in the world. Everybody love me, but that's just my ego. That's not reality. That's not who I am. Who I am is who I am when the lights go off, the cameras, the internet, and I got to go look in that mirror. That's the real me. When I have nothing but myself in a room, that's the real me. And when I'm by myself, the ego does not exist, because that's called what? Telling lies to yourself. That's called living a lie. But the ego is something created by man, and man functions off of ego, the low level man. I'm saying this to show to my people, the only way to get to the high level, you have to kill the ego. The same way before you build that beautiful building, you have to destroy whatever building was there first. And it doesn't even matter how that building looked. The building could have been in good standards, but that building has to go because the building you're trying to build is much bigger, better, and more things inside of the building. You get it? So you always have to destroy before you rebuild. And the first thing you have to destroy is your ego before you rebuild yourself, which is who? The real you. This is when you're going to understand that the name you was given from family members, that's not the real you. So you was told your name was so-and-so because your mother, father named you. You went your whole life with that name, but you still didn't figure out who you was. You still don't feel who you are. You still don't know because you didn't tap in. And when you tap into yourself, then you'll find the real you, and then you'll understand that names are just titles and labels placed upon you. So anyway, let's look at energy. But first of all, I want to show y'all this ego, a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. Key thing right here, it's nothing wrong with having self-esteem. Self-esteem is a beautiful thing. It is a sign of motivation called keep your head up. But we all know too much self-esteem could cause a lot of self-importance, or call a person that is what? Gassed up. Oh, they got big-headed because they're high on themselves, because they think they're more important than you. They think they're more important than everything. They think it's all about them. Those are people that live in a fantasy world because the ego has created an identity to this person, and they start believing it, and then they think other people believe it because they believe it. This is how the ego deceives oneself. So this is one of the sciences of the ego. Same thing with philosophy. See that? A conscious thinking subject. That's why most philosophers have egos. They think they're smarter than you. Psychoanalysis, the part of the mind that mediates between the conscious and the unconscious and is responsible for reality, testing, and sense of personal identity. Let me break that down real quick. Psychoanalysis. It's the part of the mind that mediates. It's the part of the mind that the ego is the part of the mind that mediates between the conscious and the unconscious and is responsible for reality testing. You see, when the ego gets shattered, what happens, y'all? That's when you see who the real person is. This is the science of why they make them go through humiliation rituals, because this is where they shatter their ego and bring them back to reality. The same thing when a person becomes too big-headed, and let's say he thought he was all that because his car. When his car gets repoed, his ego is shattered. He comes back down to earth because the ego is also the mediator between the truth, the true you, basically reality, and the false world. But ego has to be mastered to get to the next level. And also the number one thing is ego is tied in the flesh, materialism, and these are the things that keep you at a low level that we consider controlled by the devil. Now let's look. Let's take a look at the aura. You have a weak aura, you have a strong aura. It's called energy. This is why we say people have a low vibration, a low frequency. Let's really break this down and look at this, my family. Let's look at this. Look. See it right here. The weak aura represents the person that's always depressed, always upset, always something bad happening to them. Nothing good never go their way. Always coming up short. Always got a story to tell. Always lying. Always trying to get attention. Those are weak aura people. Strong aura people. Motivators. Always got a smile on their face. You heard the saying, the person that walks in the room and lights up the whole room. That's strong aura people. People that get along with a lot of people. Also, when you have a strong aura, certain people will run from you. With a weak aura, they will run. People that plot to do you harm and cause you wicked, that strong aura is what keeps them away. That is your force field. This is why they don't want you to tap in, because once you tap into the real you, you create a strong aura. But as long as you're walking around with an ego in the fantasy world, aka trying to hide your depression and your flaws, you will always have a weak aura. And this is how some of us who are tapped in, we understand high frequency, low frequency. Look at it like a radio station. You got FM, you got AM. But guess what? You also got satellite radio. Get it? Levels of energy. And that's why we are all not on the same wave. See the weak aura? Having a camera and a microphone on. See the strong aura? Having a camera and microphone off. Now, guess what? I did not make this. Now, people, by looking at this, if you subscribe to For No Fame, you should understand the science of why I always told you I'm not pressed to be on the camera. Because I understand most people on camera get caught up in their ego. That's why let's even talk about YouTube. You'll see all your favorite YouTubers, big YouTubers or not, you'll see it always starts the same way. What, y'all? They start out humble, but as they start to grow, what happens? Their head get pumped up, the ego gets inflated, then they start thinking they're above everybody else, and they forget about the people that helped them get where they're at, the ego. And then we know the ego is the number one thing driven by what? Celebrities, characters. Because characters are actors that have to keep up an ego, which is a fake persona. Like we said, a stage name, my nickname, my street name. Those are fake personas. So the point is, these are the people that always have to be on the camera, always got to be intrigued with people showing them love, always agreeing with them, always being a yes, man, yes, sir. These are people that feed off that. But in reality, they have a weak aura because it is the person who is the most quietest, the most humblest that has the real power. Because power is felt, it is not seen. The same way I told people when it comes to the street life. A person, when I see a person with a lot of tattoos on their face, that means to me they're weak. Because I understand the real killer is the one that will look like the least one to do it. And I'm not trying to go there. I'm just giving you different views of energy. Never forget, everything in this world is based on energy. Never forget that. This is how they run the world. Now, the term forbidden fruit is a metaphor for anything that is desired but not moral, legal, or permissible to indulge in. Forbidden fruit represents the temptations that were placed upon Adam in the Garden of Eden. This was one of the first stories. You look at it as a story. Don't look at it as a fact or certain things. You just got to take it for what it is. And what I mean by that is you get the best part out of it. This was a story about temptation on how people that were ungrateful, when they were given somewhere to live and they were told what to do, but they did not listen. Let me give you a low level example. It's the same way if you let somebody stay at your house and you tell them, do not mess with my refrigerator, do not eat this, do not do that. You come home, they ate your food, got people in your house company, they disrespected your house. So now they gotta go. Well, that's kind of what happened in the Garden of Eden. Adam and Eve was told certain things. They did not listen. They fell a victim. They had company. Eve had company and everything and got pregnant. Long story short, they got kicked out because they was being rebellious. So my point is this. They were in the Garden of Eden having the time of their life, but they forgot about their morals, meaning they were told to do certain things and they fell a victim. This is also when it was not known about sin, things of that nature, lust. This is why you heard the story, how they was walking around naked, things of that nature, because certain things was not into existence. As far as man, my point is this: man and woman didn't think on certain levels at this time. They didn't start thinking on certain levels until the individual called the serpent that came into the Garden of Eden and played these tricks. Only thing I'm saying is it's always going to be a trick or somebody come in your life as a trick to throw your whole life off course. And ever since the serpent was in the Garden of Eden, we've seen everything has been off course according to the story. My point is this. Let's take a look, y'all. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil. In Judaism and Christianity, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil is one of two specific trees. Just going to stop right there. Two specific trees. Some scholars have argued that the tree of the knowledge of good and evil is just another name of the tree of life. That is a lie. It is two different trees. You got the tree of good, the tree of evil. Also, do not forget, in the Bible, trees also represent people. The thing of the Bible is very highly coded. One story could mean 10 different things. But even back to the science of good and evil, you will see it was two trees. One was good, one was evil. Energy. Let's move on. The forbidden fruit and the origins of poverty. And when I saw this, I looked at it a whole nother way. Think about it, family. Think about this. Adam and Eve were the first homeless people because they went against the grain. Now, people that listen to my channel, you know, I always say that some people that are homeless, that is their justice. Some people, all good people are not homeless. Some people are homeless because that is their judgment on their physical life to the day they die. Two stories of homelessness. Kicked out the Garden of Eden, homelessness. Cain killed Abel. He was on the run. He was homeless. Maybe that's why we in a time now where they're trying to make everybody homeless. I don't know. But anyway, the forbidden fruit and the origins of poverty. The forbidden fruit is commonly thought of as an apple, but the Bible never actually says what fruit it was. Regardless of the effects of Eve and Adam eating it were fatal. Key thing it just said, the Bible never actually says what fruit it was. And this is why it was meant to be that way, because it's only meant to be comprehended in the spirit. This is why your preacher cannot tell you what is what. Compassion in a fallen world. Key thing, we are in a fallen world. Knowing we live in a fallen world explains why suffering exists. The extent of suffering in the world can often feel overwhelming, but that shouldn't prevent us from working to relieve suffering where we can. To have compassion means to empathize with someone who is suffering and to feel compelled to reduce the suffering. The key thing I'm saying is everybody does not see things like you. When you're tapped in, you have compassion. You have empathy for others. People that have a weak aura that are not tapped in, they can't do no wrong. And they don't care about nobody's feelings because it's all about them. These are also known as narcissists. And these are people that have no empathy, they have no compassion, they have no understanding. It's all about them. See how all that's tied in with the ego? The narcissist, the ego, all of these things are tied in together with weak aura. This is why weak aura people are narcissists. They have to make you always look at them because they don't got no light. When you got light, you always shine. See, when you know you got the light and you know you shine, you don't always got to say, look at me, look at me, look at me. But some people always got to make it about them because they don't have the light. They have a weak aura. These are the same people that we say, what y'all, they get on our nerves. Sometimes they get on our nerves. We don't even want to be around them. Weak aura. Some people also call them vampires, energy vampires. Because when you have a weak aura, they have to hang around strong aura people. That's why some ladies, why you think some of your homegirls always want you to go out with them? Because you are the light. You're the life of the party. You attract the men. You make everything look good. You make everything complete. That's why they need you. Same thing, bro. Why you think why you think he always want to hang out with you? Why you think he always want you to come with him everywhere? You got a wife, kid, supposed to be at the crib. He always want you with him because of your aura, bro, your energy. It's called a good luck charm. And when you have no good luck because of your weak aura, you need good luck charms around you. People have been using this for years. I mastered this, meaning I understood this years ago, y'all. That's why I stopped dealing with a lot of people. I only deal with people on my time, meaning I don't follow people. You're not going to energy vampire me. You know, we were raised like that to be with a bunch of people. It's called rolling deep, hanging with a lot of people, hanging with the gang, hanging with your boys. But all that's draining energy. That's why we can look at right now, no matter how many people we hung out with, no matter how many things we did with people, when you look at your life, you'll see none of that shit actually helped your life or got you nowhere. Because the whole time you was wasting time dealing with everything outside of yourself instead of tapping in to yourself. The only way to be successful, rich, whatever you're trying to do, you got to focus on self. That's where your strength is at. Your weakness is in everybody else. And weak aura people love to be around everybody else. Science. Let's move on. As you see, this is something a lot of people didn't understand. And like I said, we're just looking at these images as energy. That is it. This is not to promote Christianity. This is not about religion. We're dealing with energy and what the world is based on and what goes on. I explained my opinion before. When you see the circle around the head, that represents the halo. The halo represents the light. It represents the illuminated ones because they were considered the prophets, the gods. But in actuality, those were the ones that knew what the people did not know. So that's what the same way when you're very smart and it seems like you're very smarter than an average person, some people might look at you as a god or a leader. That's where that comes from. It's because you got the glow. This has been going on since the beginning of time. Some people have the glow, some people don't. Remember, some people, we heard the saying, what? Some people are born to lead. What's another saying? For being smart. When you were young, your teacher said you were very bright. Bright, that means you're smart. The same science of the light bulb that going in your head in a cartoon. The light bulb, bloop. That's the light, the illuminated one, the smart one. So my point is, it's always been about smart because once you're smart, you have a choice of good and evil. You got smart people that choose to do good. You got smart people that also choose to do bad. They know about both. So I'm trying to tell people, the powers that be, they know both. They just choose to do evil. But this right here represents of fallen people. The individuals on top of the mountain. Anytime you see a mountaintop, that represents higher level, higher thinking, higher relationship with the Most High. That's why within a lot of stories in the book, whenever they wanted to tap into the Most High, they always what? Went on top of the mountain. Because it's always about levels. And the people that tap into self and go on their journey of positive energy, you start to ascend. The people that do not ascend, they start to fall. That's why you see fallen individuals. If you want to take it back to the heavens, it also represents the fallen angels, but just the difference is they fell from grace, meaning they was up there, but when they started going into devilish, weak things, it got them clipped. That's when they got sent down because they got too big-headed. And we know people that get too smart, they get big-headed. That's called an ego. So when we talk about these stories of Satan, Lucifer, whatever name you want to say, because they got 100 names for the same person, it's talking about an individual who became so big-headed that he actually thought he was bigger than the Most High. And most people that are evil, you will see they think they're better than the Most High, or they'll disrespect the Most High, or they'll call themselves an atheist, or they're always going to say they're everything else. Or my point is, they're not going to give no credit. They'd rather say everything popped up out of nowhere and it's real aliens before they give any credit to the Most High, because that's how they roll. Anyway, let's go on. Just showing you it's about energy. Don't worry about color. Don't worry about none of that. It's about energy. And the color game was also thrown in the mix to throw you off. Black, white, black JC, white JC, all these different things to throw you off, because it's not about that. It's about energy, which is what? The message. The energy is coded within the message. That's why when you read the book, you have to read it with an open mind and an open heart. And sometimes you got to keep reading it and reading it and reading it until you get it. And guess what? It's just like a movie. Every time you watch a movie, you see something different. Every time you read the book, you're going to get a different vision, understanding. But even when we look at this picture, once again, it represents the light. You will see the picture with the prophet. He is the illuminated one. He has the light. He has the good energy that he is channeling to the savage. You see, the man with no clothes right there represents the savage beast. This is why you see the beast. He's in the jungle. It represents man and his savage ways. And that man has to be arisen through light. This is what happens with good energy. You only could raise something up from good energy. You only could, I want to say the right word. You only could alter a savage with good. How do you think people could take a wild animal and tame it? Because they treat the animal good. And you can take a wild animal and give it so much good that you could trick that animal into eating out your hand. I'm just saying that's how evil people use it. Good people use good energy to lift people up. Bad people can use good energy to control you. See, I'm breaking down how a person could be bad, evil, but still know how to use good energy. I give you an example. Remember Oprah Winfrey? Remember every once in a while, every year, she would do what? Give away cars. She's evil, but she was doing good. But now let's really think. Is giving away a car really good? And we also know they say she's really a piece of crap in person. But she gave them cars, but that's just material. So I'm just showing y'all how a person evil can appear to do something good, but don't really mean it's good. But I'm just showing you they also know what good is, and they could play these manipulation games. And this is what confuses the person that is not tapped in. This is your aura. You also have to understand this is why they play these games with the rainbow. The rainbow is already encoded within the book. The rainbow coincides with your aura. But they had to take the aura and make it something else so you would run from the aura. This is also not the science of what, my people? Is this not also part of the science of what, infrared technology? Well, guess what? They know they can read your aura. This is how they know who to mess with and who not. This is how when you play in them games and you try to play both worlds, but you have a weak aura, this is how they get caught up. So my point of the matter is, it's about energy. And when your energy has a certain level, you tapped in, that's the real you. That's the real you. But we're gonna look at some more things that you saw these things, but you didn't know what they meant. This represents the illuminated one as well. This represents, this is all my opinion. The whole story of Christ was about levels. You'll see from a boy, he went through trial, tribulations, all the way to his death. The point of the matter is it also represents your trial and journey in life. You're going to go through things. People are going to come for you. You will be tested. But the whole key is to get to your high self, your highest level, the real you. And this picture just represents, once again, you see around his head the light, which proves, which symbolizes he is fully tapped in. And the light from the heart represents the heart chakra, representing that he is infested with love. This is why we hear the stories of the man who was very forgiving, showed a lot of love, and worked a lot of tricks, meaning healed people. But everything that is told in the story is really the story of good energy manifesting through a good person. That's what the story is, in my opinion. And I'm going somewhere with this. Benefits of aura. This is also when he went places, they knew who he was. This is why some people were scared of him, because he had a certain aura. This is why the powers that be that was in power, they knew what time it was. Remember when you heard the story about many people he came face to face with? Did we not hear the story of how he came face to face with the devil himself, and the devil tried to tempt him? It just shows you. It might be a time in your life, or maybe a lot, you're going to come face to face with the devil. But the whole thing is, what are you going to do? And when you're not tapped in, that's how the devil have his way with you. He was fully tapped in. This is why he was able to turn down the temptation. He had already mastered the world of flesh. So he was able to deny him of all his riches. So when you're not tapped in, you can't deny nothing. You accept everything. Weak aura. Are you starting to get it? Now let's look. The benefits of aura therapy. Basically soul cleansing. Basically prayer. It helps within clarity of mind, peaceful and harmonious approach. It brings glow on the face and helps in looking young. This is why you'll see people that are older. We say, man, you don't look your age. Those be the people that are older that are what? Happy. Because when you're happy, you create a glow. This is how some of us can look at a woman and see if she's going through things. I know a woman that's in an abusive relationship by looking at her. She don't have no glow. I can look at a woman and tell she's going through things. She don't have no glow. The same thing with dudes. When you see a brother that's shining and he look, you know what I'm saying? He happy, he feeling good about himself. He got a certain walk. He feeling good. He got good energy. That's how it go. People that come outside looking any kind of way, head down, looking a hot mess, low energy, dirty. This is why they like to dirty things up, because within the dirt, there is no positive aura. You ever heard the saying, cleanliness is next to godliness? That's also dealing with aura. Some people got a dirty spirit, a dirty, foul spirit, so they got a dirty aura. You get it? But when you clean, your aura is perfect. It shines, it glows. And everybody know it and see it. When you clean, or in the hood, we say when you fresh. But it's one thing to be fresh on the outside, but when you fresh on the inside, that's a different glow. This is what I'm talking about. Benefits of aura therapy. It prevents negative energy to accumulate in aura energy field and then penetrate into the physical body. Aura therapy, it cleanses and washes away negative energy. This is why some of my people know about the science of spiritual baths. Another thing I will say, you do not forget this. Everything in the book that's powerful or spiritual, that works in our favor, they made it evil. But I will show you many different things. I just said something about spiritual baths. Was the story not telling us about a man baptized in what? Water? Well, that water dealt with cleansing. That was a spiritual bath. Get it? People, we talk about magic, and they promoted that magic was evil. But then when we go into the story of Moses and Pharaoh, Pharaoh had a serpent, and Moses, he turned his staff into a serpent, which made Moses dealing with magic. But the thing is, these are different energies. And it is said that when you are tapped in, certain things will manifest. But you got to understand the magic that Moses was working with was authorized by the Most High. Long story short, the whole key is in this world, some things are unexplainable, but some people understand the science of being able to manipulate elements and energy to work in their favor, whether good or bad. But the thing about the scriptures, when we look at the scriptures, the key thing we got to remember, it is many different magical stories, which sound bogus. But the thing is, all of the prophets, all of the powerful people, they were tapped in. And this is what made them be written of as prophets. Get it? And in the realm of evil, all of the kings had the same knowledge. This is how they were able to rule. It was always a war of good and evil. Why? It started in the Garden of Eden. One nation was positive, one nation was bad. But then again, it started from up in the heavens. And I'm going to break it down in my opinion. When we hear the story about the serpent that was in the garden, this entity, that was one of the fallen angels that was already here. Anyway, that's my opinion. Let's keep it going. 12 tribe 3D. These are considered to be basically the Jews of the tribe of Israel. But I'm not going to get into that. The thing is, these colors deal with aura, energy. That's why you'll see certain people that was of a certain caliber carry these jewels or had them on. The high priests, things of that nature. But I want y'all to see the price of this. As you see, $3,800. Now let's ask the question. Why would somebody pay $3,800 for this? See, I'm trying to tell my people. Because it is somebody that believes this is good energy right here, and it will bring them energy. And they want to tap in. So they will buy this just to tap in. This is what I'm trying to tell people. These are the things that take place. This is how much money people spend to get to the next level. But the thing is, some of them are never going to make it at all. Another thing I want to show you about the tree. Look familiar, don't it? Take a look and tell me what you see. Look like Timberland, don't it? Who the number one people that made Timberland famous and rich? But little did we know, when we was wearing those Timberlands, and people still wear them to this day, that particular tree on the Timberland is the tree of knowledge of good and evil. That is not the tree of life. And mind you, I just figured this out myself not too long ago. So You see that one in the bottom right corner, bottom, you see the Timberland tree right there. These are the curses they've been putting on us. Now, if you want to see it, we want to pay attention. Look how many brothers, when Timberlands first came out, was killing with Timbs on. Timbs was the number one footwear of the killers and the drug dealers. This is how they had us all indulging in sin. And we were sinning with them boots on. Magic. Magic. And in the process, they got rich. I would never buy another pair of Timbs a day in my life. And it's crazy because Timberlands are $200 now. Timberlands also messed up my feet a long time ago. So I stopped wearing Timberlands like in 2006. Because my feet was already destroyed. I was wearing Timbs when I was real young. When I was in, Timberlands first became popular, I remember I was 13 years old. And it was the black ones first. But long story short, little did we know we had the tree of life and the tree of, knowledge of good and evil on our shoe. Anyway, this is the tree of evil I was talking about. The Kabbalah. That's a different tree. See? And let me show you something. Just to give some clarity. This also represents the tree of good. It's called the chakras, also known as the 7 churches written in the book. But we're going to get into that. Let's go into the tree of evil. This is the energy they operate off of, the universal meaning of the Kabbalah. And Kabbalah is magic. This is how they live. The science of their tree is manipulating nature. The tree represents nature. The whole science of the Kabbalah is to manipulate nature. And when you manipulate nature, you can manipulate the minds of the people's feelings, emotions, vibes, everything. You throw them off course from their original vibration when you manipulate the tree. And this is the tree of good and evil. See it? It's not the tree of life. But you see the tree, right? You see the roots, you see it because it represents. Look, we were told all of it, everybody has a foundation. Remember, we are different trees, but we all from the same root. Also, they tell you to know a tree is to know it by its what? Fruit. These are signs that were already written about that take place in real life. And my point is this: they hold science is to manipulate through using knowledge from the tree of good and evil. Because once you know good and evil, you have the power to manipulate. This is why I told you, these people know good and bad. There was a time when we only knew good. When it came to bad, we was green, we was lame. We didn't know about bad, but that wasn't our nature. It still is not to this day. It was taught to us when we bit the fruit. AKA, we got finessed by the serpent and tricked. And we've been messed up ever since. The same way when you catch that person they was your family, but you caught them stealing out your house and you never let them back in. That's what happened to us to an extent. See that? The Holy Kabbalah. What am I showing my people? That people that do not like you are highly spiritual. And everybody is not dealing with Christianity, Islam, and all of that. The point is, some of them do deal with that, but this is their real belief. These are the things they tap into that they focus on constantly to bring you out of your nature and make you astray. I'm going to show y'all all another science within this. I should have put the picture up. When you see this man, right? Look at the man. Please look at the man. You also will see the symbol of the Baphomet. You see his arms? Those represent the horns. See it? It represents the horns. There's also, you see his leg, you see this image, it also represents the vagina. And one day, another day, I'm going to get into all of that. How the Baphomet, the vagina, I'm going to show y'all some things. But anyway, these are the people that manipulate reality. The Kabbalah and Jewish mysticism, mysticism. Mysticism, magic, manipulation. This is what they use to manipulate the minds of the masses. And when the masses are dumb and they don't have no light and they don't understand, this is what they're always trapped up in. It looked like many different cubes. It's just confusion. All right, I'm just gonna say that. The Kabbalah of light Ancient practices to ignite the imagination and illuminate the soul. This is what they tap into. This is why I told y'all. These are some of the things they tap into to become illuminated. But when they tap into this form, they're tapping into this to illuminate their evil. But in reality, they have to constantly do these things because it wears off. This is why they have to do sacrifices, because it's not in them, it's on them. So in order for them to keep their power going, they have to create spectacles and they have to do certain things to tap in. And this is how they portray the false images of light. And my point is, everything I'm saying, y'all, I'm gonna sum it up, is that when you're tapped into the real you, your higher self, none of these things have an effect on you at all, because you have your own force field set up already. It cannot fade you. It cannot touch you. They don't want nothing to do with you anyway. It's the same science of Return of the Jedi, Star Wars, any hero action movie you see. It's always positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. After a while, what happens? The evil, they get tired of fighting, they run off. They get tired of that because they like, look, I'd rather just bring my drama to somebody who ain't got no power. It's easier. That's all I'm saying. So this is the same pose that shows us prayer. It also shows us prayer sitting Indian style. But this is what they made evil. And then they threw their tricks in the game. That's why that tapping into your chakras, tapping into your chakras is different than this. That's not tapping into your chakras. That's not going within. My point is, this is how you become a mechanism for that which you know not. This is not tapping in. This is the difference. See that? Just want to show y'all a difference. Now, let me slow it down for you one more time. This is the tree of good. And what they're doing, this comes from the tree of evil. See the tree? Remember, the leaves represent the crown. A lot of y'all know about broccoli. What is it called? Broccoli crowns. The leaves represent the full bloom of the particular root. That's why it's layers. See the roots at the bottom? Then you got under the earth, on the earth, above the earth. That is the trees, the leaves. The leaves are in the sky. That is the highest level of the tree. That is the crown of the tree. Now, let's go back. The whole key is to tap into the crown chakra. That is when you at your higher self. But it's one thing. It goes back to what I said earlier. The only way to get to the crown chakra, the only way to get to the highest level, you have to destroy your ego, which is the fake you, the low you, because that is the only way you can get to your higher self. You have to let everything go. Also, sitting in this position represents you're not holding on to anything. You let everything go. We saw the movie. It's called Wusa. It's called letting go. When you're sitting like this, that means you're not letting. You let everything go. Meaning, it's nothing in my hands. I'm relaxed, and I'm ready. And you look at these. See the color code that goes up. It's like you got to look at it as wheels. When that wheel turn on, they all turn on. They all functioning. The glow come on. See what I'm saying? But look at the root. These are levels. And I'm gonna just run through it real quick. The animal of the savage individual cannot get to the green. It cannot go above the yellow. Or should I say the solex plexus. That is low level energy. Anybody that lives on a material level, a world of flesh, like a lot of people around them like to be cosign, worship, whatever it is. They on that level right there, the solar plexus. These are the individuals that can never get to the crown chakra, not ever. Don't care what they do. This is why you also see that between the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus, those are all animal entities. Those are see, like when you deal with the solar plexus, that's the science. The main thing that I want you to pay attention to, that deals with the stomach. That's where you get your what? Your cravings from. And what is a craving? A craving is a overmastering desire of something that you don't need is something that you want. This is the number one code they play on your stomach with fast food. McDonald's. What's the color of the arch? Yellow, because they know that that is tied in with your stomach. The golden fries that you crave. And you can't stop eating them. You get it? They work magic on people, y'all. I told you they know this, but they know how to use it against you and use it to make them rich. Another thing, I just want to try to see the sacral. That deals with the bladder, the prostate, the spleen, the bowel. These are all low-level things. Why? Because a low-level individual, all they want to do is what? Eat, have sex, and go to sleep. Get it? Eat, have sex, go to sleep. That is the formula of a low-level individual. What did the cavemen do? Eat, sleep, have sex. What do animals do? Ducks, cows, dogs. Eat, sleep, and have sex. That is it. Animal level. Why? Because they don't have a crown chakra. They don't have a throat chakra. They don't have a third eye. Every entity does not have a third eye. But see, out of the 7, this is why they keep you trapped up in the 3, because this is how they keep you from getting to the next level. The solar plexus, those 3 low, the root chakra, all of those things deal with greed. Never got enough. Get it? But at the same time, on a positive level, you could use that same hunger and craving for something positive. It's called ambition and drive. But the point is, let's deal with the heart chakra real quick. The heart and the lungs. This is the most important part of your body. This is the part that deals with the breath of life. One of the first most powerful things you heard was about getting what? The breath of life blown into you. But then you're going to see why everything that takes place is targeted at your vapes. Just targeted at your lungs, especially always some breath of life from the heart. What about the heart? And I'm just talking about, what about the heart? Don't they always say we the number 1 people of heart attacks, strokes? They always attacking the heart. They understand that you tap in to the level where you master the heart chakra with good health, you have good thinking, and you will have great aspirations to do great things. The heart also deals with what we spoke about earlier, the compassion and the empathy. When you're not tapped into the heart chakra, you don't have no compassion and empathy. Therefore, you will never show nobody no love because you don't have no love. And when my point is this, these are the people that show fake love. And you always going to know fake love because there's no power behind it. When you have a weak aura, all you can do is show fake love because love ain't in you. This is why people that want you to worship them, or these same people we say that's miserable, or all these people that we talk about that are bogus, whatever, weak aura people, they always show fake love and they like for people to give them fake love. Strong people, we don't even like compliments for real. And strong people, we despise fake love. Energy. So now let's go back to the heart. Your heart is your sincereness. And you have to have a sincere heart in order to get to the next level. This is the throat. The throat also deals with the vocal cords and other areas of the mouth. That's the physical part. This is why even for a person that's a singer, they have to sing with their what? Heart. You sing from your what? Your solar plexus. You sing from the stomach. Some people sing from the stomach. Some people sing from the throat. Some people do both. It's called, you heard about some people sing from the pit, from the gut, because that's where the energy comes from. That's why some people are born to sing. And in other terms, some people are born to be great speakers. But the only way to be a great speaker is you have to have a good heart, Meaning you could talk and you could scream on a microphone, people going to listen, but at the end of the day, you're not going to create no positive effects because your throat chakra is not pure. It is not in order. This also symbolizes the 7 churches that is written of. See, a lot of times in the book we hear 7. Is this not dealing also with the 7 days of completion? 7 means complete. These are the 7 stages that make you complete as a human being. Now you understand why they showed you the entity with the crown of thorns on his head, the crown, because that's the highest level. Once you get to your highest level, you get a crown. But in the world of evil, they can't get to higher levels, so they got to make crowns and make people worship them. They buy the crown, make the crown, fake ass crowns. They got to make it gold to trick you, to make you think they got power and they smarter than you. But they're not tapped into their crown chakra. That's why they take it by force. It's called rulership. Anyway, this is what I was talking about. The riches are inside of you. These are the jewels. These are the jewels. The jewels are already inside of you. This is why they always have to get you to look outside. See that? This is inside, y'all. This is outside. Let me show you again. They're tapping outside. And this is tapping in to the real you, higher self, illuminated. See the blue light? But it represents illumination. This is why the powers that be choose these colors. And that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. They made colors evil. They're the ones who play the color game. The colors were already in existence before they even made a name of a color. They made red be evil. They made red represent the devil. My point is you got to understand colors. And the point is, you can understand one thing means one thing, but somebody else could say it means something else. Anyway, once again, just showing you the different levels. The root chakra, that is the sex part. See that? The sacral, that is the anus. The gut. This is why they make them do gay rituals, things of that nature, to keep them at a low level. Because once the sacral chakra has been destroyed and penetrated, you will never go to the higher level. I'll break this whole thing down. The root chakra. This is why when they come in the game, they always got them dealing with sex. This is why they always promote sex to you. Let's go to the sacral. This is why they always make them do funny stuff that deals with the rectum. Also, let's move up. The solar plexus, the stomach. This is why they always have a certain appetite for destruction. Mostly dealing with lust, which is what? Sex, drugs, rock and roll, sleep, bullshitting. Is that not the life of a celebrity? And that's how they keep them grounded. That's why no celebrity has a heart chakra. No celebrity is in tune with their heart chakra. And I'm going to prove it to you. You know why? Because they are not pure. So they got to skip the heart chakra and they just talk a lot of shit. That's the throat chakra. They don't have no real throat chakra. That's why they just talk. What do? They just tell you a lot of stuff you want to hear. That's your preacher. That's politicians. That's rappers. That's all of them. They're just going to tell you what you want to hear. And it's going to be lies. Why is it based on lies? Because they're not coming from the heart. I'm going to say it again. People that are in power based on money, that are fake leaders, they only deal with the bottom 3, kind of like the 3 degrees of masonry, something like that. But anyway, I'm just saying, savages or people who are compromised only deal with 3 levels. They cannot go up. And one thing is they don't have a pure heart. This is why they say you can't serve 2 masters, because your heart can't be in 2 places at once. You got to pick a side. And once you pick a side, you stand on it. Therefore, you will speak the truth. Your throat chakra will open up. And people who do not speak the truth, their throat chakra is closed. Therefore, they can't get to the third eye. And people who are under oath, their throat chakra is shut down too. Once you took an oath to keep a secret, your throat chakra becomes locked. Therefore, they cannot get to the high level of the third eye. And this is why a lot of y'all brothers and sisters who are in these organizations, you have a lot of knowledge, but at the end of the day, you can't comprehend it all and you can't use it all. You don't know how to use it. It's just knowledge stored because your third eye chakra has been taken from you. Therefore, see that crown? You don't get the crown. Meaning you never get to your higher self because you took an oath. and you have been bounded and bounded in and binded. And this also represents that oath. When you take an oath, always represents you have acknowledged someone is greater than you. And I'm talking about an entity, not a God. And that's just my opinion. Also, people who live the world of following lust, like I say, chasing money, about the bag, whatever you want to call it, they can never get above their stomach. That's why they are always people that are full of shit. Do you get it? The people that cannot rise to the highest level of their chakra, which is the crown, will always be full of shit because they only deal with their genitalia, their anus. You ever heard of talking out your ass? That's them. They don't come from the throat chakra. They talk out their ass. Bullshitters. See the word shitter? Bullshitter. Sacral chakra. They can't rise above these 3 levels. And also people that deal with feelings, solar plexus, stomach, gut, people, low-level animals. This is why they always try to make us emotional creatures. Because you're just going off instinct, how you feel. That's why I don't say things like I felt a certain way or I'm in my feelings. Those are words programmed into low-level people that deal with low vibration. And a lot of low energy things have been placed upon us in the form of fad, fashion, and quotes and slogans, but they are all curses. So now you got an idea on how to tap into the higher you or the real you. Your higher self is your real you. And then you'll see that everything we do in this world is manipulated. This also, I'm gonna just say real quick, this represents worlds within the world and also represents never-ending cycles. But that's for another day. And my opinion is just us. And each individual has to tap in order for us to come together. Until individuals tap into their real higher self, it is no us. Because if you're not tapped into your real self, I don't want nothing to do with you. You on your own. And I'm about to close out, but we're going to look at some magical things that happen. And it don't need no caption, and I don't have no comment. We just going to look. And this happened in Brazil. And if you know anything about Brazil, that is one of the first places. Remember, when they came to America and they conquered it and they slayed it and slaughtered it, they started from the bottom up, which means what? They started from the Virgin Islands all the way through South America, and this statue is in South America. But this happened this year. And like I said before, in my opinion, because I like freestyling, and me watching, I said I think this year is going to be some of the most weirdest things to happen. This year is a marker, and a lot of different things are going to transpire. And this is one of them. This is what I'm trying to tell people. It's all about energy. And when all this stuff was created, they knew what they was doing. So now you see why people are paid millions upon billions of dollars to keep you asleep. And a lot of these people, they know the truth, but their job is to always lead the sheep astray and take your money. Why you think money is called currency? Currency is energy. And you need currency to build and establish anything on the earth. The difference is some people go about it the right way and some people go about it the wrong way. But one thing you will see, none of these individuals are tapped in. They are all frauds. They have no light. They have no energy. You know why? Because they all have weak auras. And he only puts on when having a camera and a microphone. See that? So on that note, another episode of Spiritual Warfare. Hopefully everybody got something out of this. Hey, I'm also learning as I'm going. But at the end of the day, keep your energy up. Stay away from energy vampires and stay focused on what you got to do. And always try to get to your higher self, which is your better self, which is the better you, which is the real you. And your life will go a lot smoother. On that note, Funnel Fame, I'm out.